All right, guys, today's episode, we got Randy back on the show. What's up, Randy?
Hello. How are you?
So before we get into the news, I'd actually would like to know what games have you been playing typically? Still just Kingdom Hearts?
Yes and no. From Kingdom Hearts, it would be Dream Drop Distance, but as of late, I have started playing this new game that had just recently come out called Sakuna of Rice and Ruin.
Mm-hmm.
It's developed by Exceed Studios, which they make really good fucking games. But just totally dropped everything. But yeah, it's like a side-scrolling platformer with a farming sim based in ancient Japan. It follows like a lot of the lore. So far, the story's really good. I only have about like 7 hours in it, but yeah, but the game like keeps on adding a bunch of stuff to it. So I'm pretty sure I'm in for like a lot.
Cool. So once you're deep into it, or maybe you beat it at some time, we could start talking about it then.
Oh, definitely. I'd love to discuss like everything in detail, but obviously only 7 hours in, that's hardly anything. So what topics do we have for today?
Well, I did want to talk about what's all over the news is that game Back for Blood. Did you see any gameplay footage? Have you seen anything online?
Blood. Oh, you mean the Left 4 Dead one? No, I only knew about the beta, but I have absolutely no idea.
It looks
what
exactly like Left 4 Dead. Like it's practically a clone. It's a good thing because those games are great. Yeah, it looks okay. Great. You know, obviously everything is a lot more smoothed out, but the art style, almost the UI itself and everything, the gun, the game mechanics, all that stuff is still like just like Left 4 Dead, and it looks really, really good. Did you like the Left 4 Dead games when they were out?
Oh, hell yeah. Fucking Left 4 Dead 1 was amazing. Left 4 Dead 2, it expanded a lot more on like the melee, but it was equally as good, if anything. But I mean, if you're saying that it looks just like it did before, then that's honestly amazing. Like the whole thing of don't fix what isn't broken, then you know the game was never broken to begin with.
Yeah,
so
like even they really didn't change up too much. Like obviously there are a couple of changes to the game itself, but like even some of the enemies were a lot alike from old enemies, like the witches and the tanks. I think the tanks had particular names I can't remember. They even have right at the end of one of these gameplay footages that they had an even bigger tank, like a damn near like an ogre or a giant or something like that, which is pretty cool. So they added a couple of new enemies as well as some old favorites. Yeah, that was just something quick I wanted to mention. It was an interesting little tidbit that's going around the internet right now. It's just footage of that game because I'm excited for it, and I hope other people are. I hope it does really well because the other games were great. The next topic. Funny enough, there is an MMO that they're working on right now for Transformers.
What?
It's still in development right now. They've been working on it for the past 2 years.
Okay.
It's going to enter beta October of next year. So I can expect somewhere in the fall, I guess, some footage or anything like that, maybe some trailers, get an idea of how that game is going to work. But I'm kind of hoping that it's more along the lines of the cartoon versions of Transformers, not so much like the movie versions, because Michael Bay versions are trash. What do you think?
Yeah, no, the Michael Bay version is horrible. But honestly, the biggest thing that I'm curious about is, will we get mini cons?
maybe as pets, like,
or will we be able to be mini cons as a race? Imagine
as a race. That
would be really weird.
The Decepticons. What was it? What were the dinosaur ones? I mean, I know they called them Dinobots, but I thought they had other names. Maybe that was all. Maybe that's all it was. I guess it was just Dinobots. And then you got the good guys again.
The Autobots?
And you got the Autobots, yeah. The Autobots and, the mini cons. So it's just, oh, man. Or even like, oh, man, what about the Beast Machines, too, from Beast Wars? That'd be cool.
That'd be fucking amazing. I feel like, if anything, it would probably be Decepticons and Autobots as the factions, and then the different types of Transformers as like the classes and shit.
Yeah, that'd be cool. See, we're coming up some good ideas already. Hopefully they actually do some things like that, because if they keep it too simplistic, then that's not going to be any fun.
Yeah, then it would just be everyone with a gun based on the faction.
Yeah, and typically people people would typically compare MMOs nowadays, especially when you do like a first person shooter or third person shooter. They'll compare it to like Destiny or The Division. So I'm hoping they stray away from those formulas and kind of just do their own thing. Like, yeah. I don't mind it being like that it's not turn based or anything like that, but they should really just focus on their own thing.
I mean, a third person shooter would probably be the way that they're going.
Yeah,
because everyone wants to see their own fucking Autobot or Decepticon.
Yeah, imagine you customize your own Autobot, like all the crazy colors and like parts that you could put on them and stuff, kind of like building your own mech essentially.
But imagine customizing your own Autobot and then it's a first person shooter.
And then you don't see shit. What's the point? I always thought that too with Destiny itself, because the Destiny customization has gotten so big lately, and they're 2 DLCs from now, they announced that they're going to do
transmogs.
Transmogs, yeah. They're doing transmogs for their
the cosmetic stuff, right?
Right. So they're finally introducing that to Destiny. So customization is becoming more of a big deal for the game. Yet you rarely get to see it because it's a first person game. So essentially, the only time you'll see your character is either you're doing an emote, which puts you in third person view, or fighting with a sword, which brings it out to third person view as well.
Or you cast super for like a split second.
But you barely even get to enjoy that. Yeah. So like I always thought like Destiny could have always made use of switching between first and third person views. But then again, I also get the competition stuff when it comes to PvP, because a lot of people take PvP seriously, and there are benefits for switching from third person because you get a better view of your surroundings.
You can see around corners essentially.
So that's a whole other discussion, but third person makes a whole lot more sense for like a Transformers game anyways. And so there's another article that I ran into for Game Informer. I'm not really gonna get too deep into it, but it brings up a question. The gist of the article talks about The Last of Us 2, and when it was announced as when it was nominated for a bunch of stuff for the Game Awards, people really didn't think that it was going to win so much, and it did. So there's a question of, was it really worth it? Like, should it have won all those awards? Did it deserve all those awards or not? And I don't think so. In my opinion, honestly, I don't think so. I think it was a great game. There was a ton of backlash because of some issues that should not have been issues in the first place. But people tend to make a big deal about things, and we've talked about it before on much older episodes. Which we won't get into, but like, what's your opinion about it winning so many awards? Does it deserve it, or do you still think it still lives up to its franchise?
Honestly, I did not play it at all, but
the second one?
From what I saw, I didn't play that one at all. But from like what I saw in the backlash, it was like the story sucked, even if the gameplay was good, like was from what the first game was. Did it deserve the awards? I'm not gonna say entirely no, but I'm definitely not going to say yes. It's kind of like mainly because of a lot of the games now, they don't really care much for the story, and it's all very kind of cut and dry. Like if you have a lot of action, if you have at least one part that's a tragedy, then immediately it's supposed to be like, oh my god, this game is fucking amazing. Meanwhile, there are better games like Ghost of Tsushima, for example. That had a fucking amazing story. It's going to sound stupid that I'm still not finished with it, considering the fact that I like ripped right through it. But from what I have played, it's incredible. From Act 1 to the beginning of Act 3, I still have a lot of stuff to do. I haven't like gotten to the finale, but if any game should have won a lot of awards, it should have been that.
Yeah, I agree. Ghost of Tsushima was amazing. Story-wise, gameplay-wise, art-wise, just everything was just beautiful. I have a review up on YouTube about The Last of Us 2, so I talk more in depth about it, but I think it deserves plenty of nominations. I don't think it breaks the mold for anything that, it doesn't do too much differently from what the first one already did. In fact, if anything, the story and the beats kind of copy the first game, almost like they were afraid to kind of stray away from that and do something different. And then on top of that, the story itself dragged along a whole lot. There were points where, you know, I was kind of just tired of playing as Ellie, or I was tired of playing as the other lady. I can't remember her name right now, but you know, I got tired of playing these characters for a while, and then they'll switch back and forth.
By the way,
yeah,
it says a lot that you don't remember the name of the other character.
Abby.
Honestly. Oh, yeah. Well, there we go.
Yeah, it's
but
Abby.
Even then, like, if the character wasn't that memorable, then was it really worth it?
Yeah.
But it's kind of a shame that the game came out the way that it did, because with the first one having been so great and the second one having had like so much hype on initial kind of like teaser reveal, for it to be kind of like this cut and dry, almost carbon copy of the first, and even shittier actually, it's like, why? What the hell?
Yeah. I don't think you should reward a game for doing the same exact thing. Basically, the gameplay was almost the same. It was still great. There was nothing wrong with it, but it was almost the same as the first game. I found it maybe a little bit more difficult at the most. But then story-wise, the story was great, but like I said, it still dragged along a lot. And when it switched between the two characters, spoilers, a little bit of spoilers, is that once I got tired of this character and it switched to the next one, you kind of wondered, like, what was the point? Because with Ellie, she's chasing after Abby because of something that Abby did, and then when she's ready to kill her, she doesn't. And then Abby goes and chases after Ellie, and then Abby is ready to fight Ellie, and then nothing's still resolved. And then Abby does something again, and then Ellie chases her again, and then towards the end of the game, Ellie finally makes it up to her, and they do another battle, and then nothing happens. Like, they change her mind again. So I'm just like, what? Like, I get that you're trying to talk about the complex emotions and thoughts and decisions of the human psyche and what people go through, and not everything is so black and white when it comes to like the decisions we make and the actions we do. But you're kind of just leaving people hanging with some of the stuff that you're doing, and
it just sounds like a lot of filler.
Yeah, it really was. There was a lot of points where you're playing through a lot of maps, a lot of areas where it's just like, okay, why am I doing this? You could have literally just made this a cutscene, or a cutscene shows up and he was like, "What are you doing?" You could have literally cut this by like 10 minutes. So yeah, but it's a rant that's I guess left for another day. But the gist is, like, my opinion is, I think it deserves all the nominations it got. I don't think it deserved the many awards it's got.
Yeah, that's honestly a very fair judgment. Because what it seems like, it's more quantity over quality, where it's like, oh, if we have more hours played, and then it should be like a fucking amazing game.
Yeah.
But if there's no substance, then what's the point of putting in almost fucking 40 hours, if 40 hours? But what's the point of putting in so much time if you're not going to get to anything?
Yeah, it's hard. It's a hard balance when you're director of a game as popular as that, is just trying to find that balance of as much content as you can without boring people, but at the same time make it interesting and not too long. And it's just, I don't envy them.
No, but then also, like, I think that this does fall a bit into the same topic of like the consumer kind of being the problem.
Mm-hmm. How so?
Because they just want something long lasting, even if it's like for one playthrough. No one really cares much for the story. If I could just run and gun the entire time and have like this insane, like, messy combat that's like super fun to do, awesome. No one's gonna pay attention to the fucking story if that's all they have. Whereas other games, like, what is it? There's this one game that came out fucking years ago. It's called Home. The entire game, it's about
horror game, right?
It's more of a suspense game.
Okay.
It's 2 hours long, right? Probably a little like shorter, but seeing how like I'm a big puss when it comes to like scary shit, it took me 2 hours to play. But if anything, it's about the length of a fucking movie that had a wonderful story, and it was super simplistic. And I thoroughly enjoyed it because of how the writing was, how like they decided to put the story. In that case, it's quality over quantity. I don't care that the game was so short. I loved what I got out of it. But not many consumers have that like mentality.
Home was also an indie game, though, wasn't it? Because those tend to be a little bit shorter just because of the small teams or the budget or something like that.
No, of course. Yeah, it definitely was an indie game.
Mm-hmm.
But it's how...
But it proves that it's quality over quantity.
Yeah, how is it that this small company could actually make something that I would personally find better, and possibly somebody else with the same mentality will like thoroughly enjoy it as well? But how can this small team make something of better quality than this big ass fucking developer? You know?
Yeah, I actually, to your point about consumers pushing this, you know, they want these games and they want these games this way and stuff. The fact that they came out with The Last of Us 2 was because of consumers, because the first Last of Us game was supposed to be the only game. And Naughty Dog had even said that they never planned on making a sequel. They don't want to. They're happy with the way the game ended, and it's supposed to be kind of open-ended with the way it ended.
With how it, yeah, of course.
But because for years after the game came out, people were still clamoring for a sequel, asking, hey, you're going to work on another one. You could do this, you could do that. You should come out with another one. We'll buy the shit out of it. They're going to make so much money. Why is Naughty Dog not cashing in on this stuff? And I would guess that the publishers and Naughty Dog themselves are pressured into be like, okay, maybe we should make something up and cash in on this.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. In that case, it's them wanting like all the money,
right?
But the way that the first one was, it was perfect. It didn't need a sequel.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I still love the first one. Oh man, I was so freaking dumbfounded with that ending, and like I talked about it for weeks, just wondering like what would have happened. And it would have been, you know what, honestly would have been great is to end that game with just the first one, and the fact that they were working on a TV show. They're still working on a TV show. It could have continued from there.
Yeah,
that would have been great. But anyways, another topic we're ranting about. This is the news portion, so let's go on to the next article. This is exciting. Now, you know me, Final Fantasy VII, big Sephiroth fan, so I was freaking out. I wish I was streaming myself when I saw when I reacted to this, and you know about Sephiroth showing up in Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, if you recorded yourself, there would have been like a cream cam or something.
Yeah, that's for my OnlyFans page. So let's.
Oh, of course, yes. Yeah. OnlyFans.com/drunkenguardian.
Yeah. So, how did you feel about it when you heard?
I haven't been into Smash like that since fucking Smash 4. Okay. But it was pretty interesting, honestly. I was excited, but I was also very confused. But the trailer was fucking amazing.
Oh yeah,
I know that he's gonna be busted as fuck.
Everyone. That was.
I love what he did to Mario.
Oh man, I thought he killed Mario, and then in my head I'm just like, no, they wouldn't even really kill Luigi. They would never kill Mario. So, and then cut to it was on his freaking jumpers or something, so he missed. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, that was expected. But that the fight with Cloud right afterwards was amazing because it was almost a shot for shot from Advent Children,
with Mario being thrown across the fucking screen.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm excited to play him. I think he's already out right now, but unfortunately I don't play my Switch too much. Rare occasions, and especially like if I have someone to play with for Smash, then I'll jump on Smash, but I gotta download him for sure.
I'm pretty sure he's gonna be like extremely imbalanced.
You think so? No, I don't think so.
With the sword that long?
I don't know. They tend to usually balance everyone pretty well without any patches. So, I mean, Nintendo's pretty good when it comes to quality assurance.
Well, fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, if I get to play it, I'll definitely tell you if they fucked him up or not, or if he's OP or not. We'll see about that.
And then maybe I'll have a reason to actually get fucking Smash Ultimate.
You need to, so we can play. Last but not least, the guy who did the Silent Hill franchise, I'm sorry if I'm butchering his name, Keiichiro Toyama, he has announced that he's working on a new horror franchise that's expected to drop in 2023. So I am super excited just because I am a hardcore Silent Hill fan. And for him to be working on something new excites me. So I'm hoping it's the same quality as these Silent Hill games are. Maybe like part psychological, part horror. What do you think?
Fucking, he did Siren too.
Siren was scary as shit.
Siren was a mess, a nightmare, a wonderful nightmare.
It was an interesting concept. I don't think the game mechanics caught on that popularly, but it was really unique.
Oh yeah, no, of course.
Yeah. For those who have never played it or heard of it or anything, like the mechanics were your character was kind of psychic or had some sort of powers in some way. I guess it varied from Siren 1 and 2, but you can essentially remote view your enemies.
Hold on. You use the proper term.
How do you say?
As dirty as it sounds. You sight jack them.
You sight jack them.
Yes.
So you sight jack your enemies.
No, it's like hijack, but like, you see through their eyes.
Yeah. I guess that's a good point. So yeah, so you hijack, sight jack your enemies, and then you could view them, so you can kind of get an idea of where they're at, and of course the other enemies as well. So that was the best way for you to know where your surroundings are and where your enemies were. So it kind of brought up the tension because it was all mainly a stealth game with very little bit of combat, if you get caught, but it still made it difficult when you got caught because your characters are like villagers and like simple people. They're nothing
so
special.
The combat was janky as fuck.
Yeah, it was.
The sight jacking was interesting because it was disorienting almost, because there would be like a little kind of color splotch of where your character was, but that didn't mean that they could see you. It's just like for your own reference. And some of them had fucking guns.
Some of the enemies. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, which was horrifying because there was no sense of like self-control or urgency. It was just, I'm gonna shoot you when I want, and if you get hit, and you will be stunned. But no, the tension in that game was incredible.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't implemented very well, but the concept was a freaking great idea, and the graphics weren't that great too. That's actually, like you mentioned about when you sight jack someone, you could, the point of view was really like blurred or messy, and on top of that, the graphics being what they were at the time, they didn't help that much either.
But to be fair, with it being messy, it also like it can't give you the greatest view, because then at that point it's like you just have cameras everywhere. If you think about it, if it's too clear to see, then at that point every single thing that's around.
Yeah.
But with the graphics, it was interesting because what they did with it was like almost facial capturing.
Yeah, they did facial mocap. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was before the technology got popularized with LA Noire. Yeah, it was way before that.
And they actually did it better than LA Noire.
I can't remember. I couldn't compare.
LA Noire was a lot of overacting, and Siren was overacting, but to a lesser degree, if anything.
Well, I mean, with LA Noire, I would assume they overacted mostly because of the era that they were in. Like you're trying to make a noir type of film / game. So you had to kind of act the part in a way. Whereas Japan, they tend to overact with many things, especially when it comes to emotions.
Well, I mean, to their credit, they're really good at that.
Oh, of course. Japanese anime fan.
Of course.
So, how do you like the Silent Hill franchise?
I never played 1. 2 was really good. 4 scared the shit out of me as a kid.
That was The Room, right?
Touched. Yeah, The Room.
The Room, yeah.
But yeah, the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games are really good. I don't really enjoy like the Wii or the portable ones.
The port ones?
The Western versions, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were kind of lacking, if anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a really amazing brainchild from this dude. So for him to come up with something new, I'm pretty sure it's going to be scary as shit.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, the guy who did, I can't remember his name right now, but the guy who did the Resident Evil series, he did the Evil Within. At least the first one was great. Like it was a new franchise with a Resident Evil refresh type of sense, and it came out really well. The second one, I played it, I beat it, not so much great. We talked about repeating old things, and they kind of just pretty much like the whole second game could have been a DLC for the first one. That's how similar it was to the first one, which so it was kind of boring in a way, except the story was different. But anyways, yeah, I look forward to it too. The first one was my favorite just because it kept things a little bit more mysterious. Unfortunately, Konami had lost the source code for Silent Hill, the first one. So any chance of ever like remastering it is out the window. You can remake the game, of course, but remastering it is out the window. So hopefully with the rumors that they're coming out with a remake of Silent Hill, there's all these rumors saying that, you know, Hideo Kojima is going to do it. So I would look forward to that. And then hopefully on top of that, you got Toyama-san's, you know, future franchise for horror. So we got some more Silent Hill stuff coming up.
Let's see who shits their pants first.
So we're going to move on now to our main topic after no messages. Okay, so today's topic, we talked about the last episode. Venting is crazy, as we were about Cyberpunk still, and all the stuff that's going on with the industry and how they're delivering unfinished games brings up another question. When Cyberpunk finally did get released, they made all their money back by the first weekend because of their pre-orders, about 8 million pre-orders. And they made their money back. They made their budget back for marketing. And that's including the refunds now. That they still have their money. Total right now, I believe it was 11 or 12 million copies they've sold so far. That's including refunds. So the game is still doing phenomenal. So the question is, because we got an unfinished game like this, is it worth pre-ordering games right now with the way the industry is kind of taking advantage of consumers releasing unfinished games? Your thoughts?
No, not at all.
Simple no. The good night, everybody. Simple, no. We're done.
and that's it for today's episode. No, like definitely not. If pre-ordering gets you a heaping pile of garbage, then no. Wait for that pile of garbage to be polished first, and then get it. One good example, aside from fucking Cyberpunk, is how lackluster fucking Avengers was.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, they had this whole insane fucking pre-order beta, and like, oh wow, this is amazing, you know, exclusive playing rights. But for fucking what? If it's gonna be boring as hell and the story's gonna be pretty ass.
Yeah, they focus mostly on the name itself, like making those pre-orders. There is a article that I'm going to read from GameSkinny that talks about that, with the way that publishers specifically, they prey on consumers, you know, based off the way they're marketing things and what they expect with these pre-orders. GameSkinny.com, it's the article, what you're actually doing when you pre-order a game. When you pre-order a game, you are reeled into what basically is a commitment on the idea of an unfinished product. At this point, it's already money in the bank for the company, and they already locked you into buying it. This shows that you aren't going to their competitors, and you will go to the store to pick up their game no matter what the review or hype surrounding it. The magic of a pre-order gives a publisher security. Look at Assassin's Creed Unity. If you solely take a look at the gameplay and reviews coming from around the world, would it still have sold so well? Now, of course, no. In fact, it should have been counted as a failure, with it being the buggiest Assassin's Creed to date. Good pre-order numbers also look good for a publisher's statistics, showing that they will have a successful launch. It is then turned into a PR weapon and used against your fellow consumers as credibility for their game. This then generates hype for the game, helping the next Watch Dogs to reach $1 million before it was even released. This allows the developers to stop worrying about the state of the game, because no matter how bad or good, millions of people already lined up to buy it.
Yeah.
Even distributors like GameStop are in a better place when the consumers pre-order. They get to know how much people are buying the game, so they wouldn't have to spend extra money on unneeded copies. And that commitment with the publisher is also there with retailers. You're investing your money into GameStop, and the only way to back out is, well, embarrassing yourself in front of that cute cashier working there. Yeah, that says a lot about why the publishers always want you to pre-order. What are your thoughts on that?
That's actually it's a very good point that they had made. The way that I feel, you know how Steam has early access?
Yeah.
So pretty much you could like pay a set price and you get whatever bill it is of said game. At least you're getting to play it. At least you're there for the duration of what the updates are.
The development of it, yeah.
Yeah. Whereas the like pre-ordering off the bat, it's like Kickstarter. You don't know what the fuck you're gonna get. The ukulele, if you're like sending money to them directly, and that game wasn't the best, it wasn't the worst. It definitely was no Banjo-Kazooie, but they already made their money in fucking full. Just off the Kickstarter thing alone, they pre-ordered the entire game, so like that article said, there was no worry about the quality of it.
That's very true. That's a really good analogy. Is that it's basically a Kickstarter, except you're waiting on the game, and the game might not be finished. The game is going to be unfinished. Whereas like Steam does have a good policy when it comes to that, because it does make sense. You could pay a cheap price for an unfinished game, and you know that it's unfinished because it's early access. So at the very least, you get to see the progress, and you still get to play the game and enjoy the game in the way that you expect it to. Whereas you're pre-ordering a game, you're waiting for it to come out, hoping, by the way, that it doesn't get delayed.
That's a whole
and sometimes when you pre-order digitally, they send you a refund automatically. So now you have to pre-order it again if you plan on doing it. So now on top of that, now you're hoping that the game that shows up is finished, which most likely it's not, because now we have this trend of first day patches and first week patches and first month patches to fix certain things that they know they should have fixed beforehand, but they need to get the stuff out the way, because now they're saying, oh shit, we got 5 million pre-orders. We need to get this stuff out now and get our money back. Another thing is, my idea is that if you really, really feel the need to pre-order, I think they should come along with some set incentives that I don't think the industry is willing to give. Because, like when you pre-order some stuff, they give you a free skin or like a free emote or something that's already in the game. You just get it early.
Yeah, what is it? Ghost of Tsushima, the digital deluxe was a free technique point, I think.
Are you serious? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was a sword skin, a set of armor for the horse, and a technique point. Yeah. Aside from like the theme and soundtrack and art book. Still a great game though.
Yeah,
but that free technique point was kind of stupid.
Yeah, it is. It's just I rarely pre-order now. I am still guilty of. I did pre-order Cyberpunk, and I had pre-ordered the Destiny expansion that just came out in December also. But the Cyberpunk I had pre-ordered early. As soon as the pre-orders had showed up is when I pre-ordered it, and I figured if something happens, at least the game is already paid for. And then the same thing with Destiny. At least with Bungie, I know that they're always really good at bringing a polished game. And for the most part, I'm not going to say that they always make their due dates, but they usually make their due dates. So I have nothing to worry about with them. On top of that, I get some incentives in Destiny that are digital, but those are things that I enjoy getting. For example, like a ghost, I get a specific skin that I can show off because I pre-ordered the game. Nobody else has it unless you pre-ordered the game also. So that's kind of a cool thing, because it's an online game too. You kind of want to show off your guy, Yeah. You have to show off all these stuff. But like if it's a single player game, what are you showing off? Who are you showing off to? Why?
Your audience if you're streaming.
But how many people do that too? Not everyone does that. There's millions of sales, and you have maybe 10% of that audience probably does streaming, maybe, if anything, I would assume. But yeah, I feel like they should have some actual physical incentives or some other like type of special incentive for those people who are pre-ordering, kind of like a gesture of faith or appreciation to those consumers, not just here's something that's already in the game.
Yeah, but then also it gets kind of tricky in terms of like fulfilling said promise
Of the game coming out, or the
like
products?
if okay, how to put it? Let's say you pre-order and they're like, hey, here's an item that you get, a physical item. If it's not a collector statue, it's some sort of apparel, some accessory, anything of the sort, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know how Bethesda fucked up?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the dangerous part about having like exclusive shit with pre-orders and in certain editions.
Well, so two things from that point. But it is a good point. One, that's just poor planning from Bethesda.
Very true.
Because they could barely cover all this is it was a limited exclusive, not to mention. So the fact that it was limited means that they have a certain amount of copies to sell, which means they should have had the same amount of copies of the object in question, which they didn't, which is stupid. And then when they did give the said object, it was what was it, like the wrong material or something like that? I think it was.
Yeah. For the bag, it was supposed to be canvas, and it was like some really cheap shit.
So that's poor planning on Bethesda. Second, I can understand if you're offering quality stuff, quote unquote quality stuff. When you're pre-ordering special editions and ultimate editions of things, like you're getting a freaking night vision goggles, functional night vision goggles in Call of Duty.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I could understand.
That was pretty neat.
I could understand stuff like that, but if you want to pre-order a $60 game, how about giving me a cool little pop figure? Something cheap, something simple. A little light up figurine, a couple of stickers. I'm just throwing like random ideas out there, but like my point is, like, it doesn't have to be expensive and it doesn't have to be elaborate. It could be something very simple that you can still enjoy.
People are going to want something elaborate and expensive.
Then you should be paying for the ultimate copies then.
But yeah, no, and if they do, then what was it? I think the most expensive pre-order had to be Saints Row the Third, or was it the fourth one?
Is that the one that had basically a car or something?
Car, yeah.
Oh God, yes.
There you go. Now that's a fucking pre-order bonus.
I was gonna say the most expensive that I knew about, but you beat me though. It was a car. You could pre-order it and you get a car. But there was a pre-order. It wasn't a pre-order. No lies. I'm sorry. It was a post-order. It was a game. Remember the game Inside?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a little side scroller.
Boy in red shirt.
Yeah. So there was
people that made Limbo.
Yes, exactly. There was an order so there was this very strange news articles. They were saying that the developers of Inside, they were working with a company that works with synthetic skin, usually where they usually work with sex dolls. And
okay,
social media went crazy. Like, what are they doing? Like, why? What are they making? I don't know. And then
that's especially concerning, considering the fact that the protagonists of both the games that they made are young boys.
Yeah. But a couple weeks later, after they announced that, the developers Inside announced that they were taking pre-orders of a special edition copy of Inside, an actual physical copy, because when the game came out, it was only digital. So they were releasing it physical copy, but it also came with a surprise, quote unquote.
Is it the lump at the end?
It was the lump at the end. So nobody knew. Nobody knew. Like they said was like, oh, you get a surprise item. The item, I can't remember how much it cost, but it was in the hundreds, over 200, hundreds. And people were just like, why is this 5-hour digital game that now we're paying for a single, like, why does it cost this much money? And eventually, I think IGN, I watched their revealing of the unboxing, and it was the lump, the weird, what did they call it? Like the hive monster? I forget what they called it, but there was a name of the monster.
It's called the Huddle.
The Huddle,
I'm
yes.
looking at it right now. It costs $375 for the Inside Collector's Edition.
Yeah. So you get a fleshy blob made of sex doll skin. in the make of that weird ass monster. That's cool. As weird as that is cool that you can get something that unique for that amount of money.
You know, cool is definitely a word for it.
Yeah. Weird is definitely a word for it. But
weird is the more fitting word for it.
Yeah. But I enjoy unique things like that. It's not something I would ever get.
Oh, of course.
Definitely for a collector out there, I hope that they just have it on their shelves and then they're not doing anything nasty with it. But
it doesn't seem like it has any orifices to do anything nasty with.
You can make some if you really, really wanted to, though. So let's not give people ideas, anyways.
On with the conversation.
we went in deep to something there.
Someone's going to go in deep to something there.
Jeez. Oh man, but. Back to the pre-order thing. So, unique items. That's what we should be. What they can offer, especially because if you give them something special, it'll kind of curtail a little bit of people's angers. You know, when they have an unfinished game, I would think, anyways. Maybe not so much me, but maybe for other people.
Sucked, but at least I got a neat ass bag.
Yeah, right? Well, it was a bad bag though too. That
if it was neat, then it would curtail some sort of fucking anger.
Yeah. I was just like, yeah, I got some stickers, cool, because I paid a $60 game. I got some stickers, or I like
put on a book.
Yeah, even a book. Oh man, like an art book. Those collectors art books, they could be for free.
A journal that's themed on the game. Mm-hmm. How about that?
Yeah, anything. There's an unlimited amount of possibilities. Pre-orders should be a little bit more incentivized, instead of just a unit of measurement of how popular the game is going to be for the publishers.
But again, pre-order bonuses are very dangerous in terms of like quality themselves. Yeah. Because imagine getting a shit game and then a shit item.
Ooh, good point.
First thing that comes to mind, what is it? Mighty Number 9? The Mega Man clone?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, it was the guy who did the Mega Man games.
Fucking mess. That game sucked. It was terrible. Fucking atrocious. Kill it with fire, please. But the item that they were supposed to get was like this kind of, I guess, case to put it in, or like a special box that you only got if you were a supporter on like the Kickstarter or whatever.
A case for the game?
Yeah. Like a nifty old school looking box so you could put the whole thing in. Now, not only did it not send on the date that people were supposed to get the game, but when they finally did get it, about I think it's like 2 weeks or months afterwards, don't quote me on that. Mm-hmm. When they finally did get it, the box wasn't the right size to fit the casing.
Wow.
So they just fucked up entirely.
Okay.
The game sucked, and so did the product.
I didn't know that. I never even played the game because it was already getting bad reviews before the game even came out, so I didn't even bother. And that's the thing too. This is what I like about game reviews and journalists able to play these games beforehand, because you can kind of catch some wind on it and get an idea of what you're getting and cancel your pre-order, just in time in case you change your mind. But in situations like what Cyberpunk did and No Man's Sky did, is that they hid the flaws, so nobody knew what they were getting into.
Yeah, no review copies. Mm-hmm. Also, Sonic Boom.
Oh God, we're gonna talk about Sonic Boom.
I mean, it's a fucking. Everyone knew it was gonna be bad, but they didn't give out any review copies either. So.
Oh, I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah, they really hid it from everybody.
I mean, the Sonic franchise was already dead before even that game came out, though. So I don't know what the expectations were.
It's been dead for a very long time.
Yeah, I would think the last great Sonic game, and that's still kind of pushing it, is the Sega CD, the Sega 3D game for Dreamcast.
Oh shit! Yeah, I was really hoping you were gonna say Sonic 06, even as a joke.
You know what they should do? It'd be interesting to see is a Sonic RPG
remaster.
No, a Sonic RPG, just like in vein of
Super Mario,
like RPG? Super Mario, kind of, yeah, or like a Paper Mario style or something like that. Obviously, I know I get the whole theme is you gotta go fast, but I don't know. I could just picture like a turn-based Sonic game.
Gotta go fast only in the overworld, not in the combat.
Not in combat.
I mean, didn't they have an RPG like for the Game Boy? I could be wrong.
I have no clue.
Yeah, fuck me. They had a Sonic RPG.
Oh shit! So really, what was
Sonic
it
Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood for the DS.
for the DS? Was it like a turn-based thing?
Yeah, based on how there's a whole menu ring around Sonic that says attack, power moves, defend, items, flee.
Oh man,
Yeah.
well, I feel stupid now.
But I mean, then again, who the fuck played Sonic at all?
I mean, that's true, but I mean, and that, I guess and that's why my idea sucks, because there's already a Sonic RPG and clearly didn't do very well because nobody knows about it.
It came out in 2008.
2008. Ah,
Way
so
after
sad.
your fall.
Rest in peace, Sonic. Well, the movie wasn't that bad actually.
I haven't seen it yet.
It was actually pretty good. I would recommend. There would be 3 movies that I would always recommend to people to watch, video game wise: is Silent Hill, the Pikachu movie, and Sonic.
Really?
Yeah, maybe a Tomb Raider as a 4th, like the original one, not the Alicia Vikander.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. Not the Angelina Jolie version, but the other one. Whatever the fuck that is.
Yeah, it wasn't. They try a little too hard to make it. They try to make it too hard to make it. Wow, I can't talk. They tried hard to make it like the game itself, to the point where they missed the whole point. And I think that's kind of what the problem is with Monster Hunter. From what I read from the reviews, I haven't seen the movie either, but I think that was the problem also, is that he was trying too hard to throw so much of the franchise to viewers that he just missed the whole point of the series itself.
There really is not much of a point to the Monster Hunter series, honestly.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of story though. There's a lot of lore.
No, definitely. There is a lot of lore and
culture.
whatnot. But in terms of like gameplay and shit, to put like that into the movie, because also the story is only on the quest stuff, like literally the kind of mission briefing, if anything,
Yeah,
and some of the dialogue here and there. But most of the substance from Monster Hunter comes in the combat and the gameplay, in the variety of the items. You can't exactly portray that in about like what, an hour and a half, 2 hours.
true. I agree, and that's why when we first started watching the previews, one of the first things I said was, "Why are you bringing a quote unquote human from Earth into this Monster Hunter world when all you have to do is focus on the Monster Hunter world?" Like, you could, like, Tony Jaa is one of the other characters on there. He could have been the main character of the movie, and you could have focused on him growing as a hunter, making those weapons and learning how to do those weapons and learning how to hunt these monsters, because let's say it killed my brother or something, whatever you want to make up.
But with Monster Hunter.
With Monster Hunter, yeah. Ong Bak with Monster Hunter. That's all you needed in the movie. But they missed the whole point, is that everyone fell in love with the world, not just Lilu from The Fifth Element. But anyways, yeah, pre-orders, I really think they should be phased out or just changed. The system should change. The incentives should change. Everything should change. There's so much about the industry right now that they're fucking up, and a lot of things are coming to light, especially now that social media is all over it. There's a lot of things that should change, and pre-ordering is another thing that should. I don't know what your thoughts are on that. If you agree with any of the stuff that I mentioned.
No, I definitely agree with it, because the thing is that pre-ordering is not the same like it used to be. The same way that video games are not the way that they used to be as well. There's no more focus on story. It's all quantity, not quality. In this case, it's the easiest thing we could do is just give them something to download onto their fucking console or into their game, and then boom, that's it. We're done. We're not going to get any more night vision goggles. We're not going to get any more like awesome actual fucking things. No more cars, that's for sure.
Yeah, and if we do, they're gonna be ridiculously overpriced, because I'm sure those night vision goggles probably cost the company, let's say, throwing a number out there, obviously, but like the goggles cost $20, and they charge you $150 for it.
They were really good quality.
I guess it all just depends. I mean, I think the goggles were cool. I think that was a great pre-order thing. I think they were a bit overpriced, but they're still cool
because they were functioning, and it was what they said they were going to get.
And people got it too. I think one of my friends has it. I should ask.
My brother actually got it, and I used to fuck around with the goggles themselves. That's why it's like, no, the quality of them was actually really, really good.
They're really good. Oh, that's good. That's good.
You could use them at night, and it wouldn't be like, they kind of work. No, they fucking worked.
I think one of the pre-orders we had a special edition was a RC car. Was that another Call of Duty one?
I think so.
It's like an RC car.
Does sound like something that would be a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, so hopefully things change, and I think we should talk about these type of things more. I kind of feel like since we gotten back, we've been like complaining more about things, and
Because there's a lot to complain about.
there
That's
is.
the thing.
You're right. There is. I want people to understand that like complaining about things doesn't necessarily mean that we hate it all. Complaining about it just means that we want to change, and because we love this industry so much, we love video games so much, and we just want to be happier and make sure the industry thrives. So these type of things are very apparent and should change. So that's why we complain about them, and that's why we say things about them. Because the more we talk about it, hopefully it'll bring some change. If you stay quiet and just let them take advantage of you, what do you expect to happen?
Yeah. Because the game industry doesn't have the same passion as it used to. The love that we have for games, it's clear that it's been very cut and dry. Oh, we'll just release another fucking Call of Duty this year or next
Every
year.
year, man. Every
It's the
single
same
year.
fucking thing all the time. Oh, we'll just do a fucking battle royale. Remember when that was the thing? When every game had a fucking battle royale to it?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just we're not gonna have another good Kingdom Hearts.
You never
We're not
know.
gonna have
Maybe
another
we'll wait
bunch
another
of
10 years for Kingdom Hearts, and it'll be good. Because I know the other Kingdom Hearts took so long. Obviously, not just because of development, but because of licensing issues and because of the pressure from the publishers trying to add extra things, such as the Frozen level and certain scenes and stuff like that. So, Kingdom Hearts is a rare thing to mention when it comes to why it was delayed and we waited so long for a mediocre game.
The gaming industry is not. It doesn't have the burning desire to satisfy us.
And I don't think it's the developers. I think it is like we mentioned before. It's the consumers and the publishers. Those are the problems.
No, that hopefully in time things are gonna change. Something different's gonna come out.
Yeah.
Actually though, speaking of something different and pre-orders, are you going to pre-order the KF console?
Why not? I mean, I love chicken.
Right?
Why wouldn't
you love
I?
chicken, you love video games, fucking. It's so stupid, but it looks amazing. You could warm chicken in it.
Does it play games though? Like, what games does it play?
I think it's supposed to be like PC.
PC game, like on CD, or does it have a hard drive?
Let me fucking.
I know you showed me the link, and I laughed at it, and then I gave it a second glance, and it said no, it's a real system, and I'm like, oh my god, like, what? Huh?
Let me see. Introducing the KF console. Power your hunger. The KF console has arrived, forged from the fires of the KFC ovens and built by Cooler Master from the ground up. There has never been a tastier way to experience the latest titles in stunning 4K 240 FPS.
240 FPS.
240 FPS. With interchangeable parts, actually. It's going to be fucking insane. Oh yeah, it's definitely gonna be PC though, because if it's
this is like a PC tower with a heater,
with a compartment in it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's a compartment it's a heater. Or is it actually cooking the chicken, or is it just keeping it warm?
It's keeping it warm.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
I'm assuming, but I mean, what is it? World's first built-in chicken chamber. World's first built-in chicken chamber. There we go. Never risk letting your chicken go cold again thanks to the patented chicken chamber. Utilizing the system's natural heat and the airflow system, you can now focus on your gameplay and enjoy hot, crispy chicken between rounds. Oh my fucking god!
That solves all my problems. That solves it all. Like the game industry has now been revived.
Exactly.
Thanks to KFC.
Now imagine though, is as a pre-order bonus, you could like have a month's worth of chicken.
Oh hell yeah, I would do that.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, I would.
Even if they don't include it, I'm still gonna get
it. You'll still buy a month's worth of chicken, huh?
But first I have to like leave it off on this. The 4K TV gaming. It says enjoy your favorite games in finger clicking good 4K quality on supported devices.
So bad.
That's it. I'm done. Oh, and it's VR ready too. Also, just like throwing that out there.
Oh man, imagine if they had like smell-o-vision on that thing. Like you do a VR with like a smell-o-vision thing, and you just smell chicken. Just everything smells like chicken. That's all it is. It just.
I think that fucking VR horror games would lose their scare factor if everything smelled like chicken.
Where the fuck does this ghost smell like chicken?
I died. But
although it'll work for Monster
chicken.
Hunter though, you can kill a Rathalos, and for some reason that smells like chicken.
Monster Hunter VR.
Yeah,
But it's only the cooking part of it.
just the cooking. You just spin around the piece of chicken on the fire pit the entire time.
Of course. That's it.